You're listening to Have You Ever Wondered? It is Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. I'm Chloe, and the title of today's episode is The Tables. Oh my, the tables. Welcome. I have managed to calm down from yesterday somewhat. And if you didn't get a chance to catch yesterday's show, you still can. Just pull it from wherever you are partaking of this right now. And I'm going to leave it up for a little while because it was so much fun to make. I'm so pleased with how it turned out, and I was over the top excited about it. It seems like a shame to pull it down after 24 hours, so we're gonna let it ride. So yesterday I was talking about oral art, and today we're gonna be talking about visual art, which seems counterintuitive, I know, because this is primarily an audio podcast, but even though a lot of people listen to podcasts while they're doing something else, I'm giving you this forewarning now that today is another one that's a bit of a show and tell, kind of like the Travel Essentials episode. So grab an internet-enabled device that allows visual interaction. Or you can take a look at the YouTube later if you want. That will make this a lot more interesting to you. So, if you're listening live, hop on over to Instagram and look up Imitation by Jerell, all is one word. Jerell is spelled Jerell. If you're listening or watching later, I will have links. I may even toss a couple of these in my story. I don't know. We'll see. And this artist that we're talking about today, Jerell Gantt, you can actually find on Instagram and Etsy under the same name. Do you have an Etsy? Do you know what it is? It's kind of like Bandcamp, but for people who make things. It's a marketplace. Artists can have more independent control. They can get their art directly to the people who want it. It's nice. I primarily use Etsy to look for and to commission custom-made jewelry because there are really like a lot of talented jewelry makers on there. And I prefer to wear jewelry that was made specifically for me. I tend to wear pieces that have, like, each thing has its own significance. And I know what that is. So it's easier for me to have someone make it than for me to try to find it and then buy it. We can talk about it another day. But there's a great jewelry artist on there who goes by Kate Kim. Her store is called Caitlin Minimalist, and she's like my favorite right now. So if you're on Instagram now, looking at Jerell Gantt, he's a visual artist based out of Atlanta, and I have just been enamored of his work lately. Maybe like 15 years ago, Jennifer Aniston was in this movie where she played a woman who works in an art gallery. And there's a point in the movie where she's working with someone who had come into the gallery and was having trouble choosing a piece. She tells the person, you have to choose art that you love. She said something like, you have to live with it every day. You have to walk by it every day. you have to feel comfortable with it in your home. And I think of that as like the perpetual, all-encompassing contradiction of art, that you're constantly turning or vacillating between the at least partially objective perspective of the artist, because they know what they're thinking as they create whatever it is, versus the, a lot of times, almost entirely subjective perspective of the person who is taking in the art. But she's right, it helps to love or at least be moved by a piece of art if it's going to be with you, because you have to look at it, you have to watch it, you have to read it, you have to listen to it. And if it doesn't speak to you, then it might not be for you. And that's okay. Not every piece is for everybody. You could even submit that art is just for the artist who made it, and anyone else who is moved by it is a bonus. That one's definitely for another day. Now, when I was in second grade, the school that I went to, which we've talked about before, had an art exhibit on the school grounds that featured handmade quilts from all over the place. Some of them were historical, some of them were modern, some of them were purely hanging on the wall decorative, some of them could be purchased and then used. And I still remember walking through those exhibits. I must have been like 7, and marveling that something so useful could also be so intentional and so beautiful. I think it was like the first time that it sunk in for me that you can make art out of something functional. And I still find a really high satisfaction in being able to possess something that is both functional and beautiful. Something that exposes you to beauty while helping you through life. That is what Jerell Gantt does. Beautiful art, beautiful prints, paintings for your wall. Yes, yes. But the things that catch my eye every single time are the tables. The tables! Okay, they have this series, I believe it's called Hero Tables, or a piece of fine art, so something that starts out as a painting is then transformed into a table, a usable piece of furniture that can sit in your living room or whatever room at home, and every single one is viscerally gorgeous. I'm going to show you a few of them. And like I said, the links will be up. Let's start super relevant, because Beyonce just put out a single the other day. So here's hers, if you can see. It's based on her Dangerously in Love cover. Look at that sparkle. Look at that detail. Oh my word. How about this one for Pride Month? I'm gonna use the baby phone that we talked about in travel episodes, so you guys can see that I actually use it and that it actually works as a real phone. I like seeing the behind the scenes. He puts up a lot of videos on Instagram about like the process of creating the piece. And what an icon. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Oh my word. You gotta go look at them on your own device, not on someone else's device through another device. But I still have a couple more for you, because you can't really talk about Atlanta without talking about Outkast. And so he did an Outkast table, and before shipping it to the collector who bought it, took it out to a local mural that also featured Big Boy and Andre 3000. I really like that one. Like, you get why the series is called Hero. I mean, so many of these people are modern, not all modern, some of them are historical. Here's another modern icon. And not all of the art goes straight to the table. Right now, Michelle Obama on the cover of her own book, from the cover of her own book, which is called Becoming. And one more. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Also known as Black Panther. Look at that. I mean, the list is outrageous. Oprah, Tina Turner, Taraji P. Henson, Ludacris, Denzel, LeBron. Just go and scroll and really enjoy. Kendrick, the GOAT, Anita Baker, both Michael and Janet Jackson. Definitely go find those two. Those two are really special. Grace Jones, my word, utterly phenomenal. As a matter of fact, let me do one more. I didn't even find this one until I was doing the research for this show. How about New Edition? And the little video is a 6-panel because each person's being painted individually on the artist's hand, and then they're all being shown. Oh man, that table. Yeah, you got to go take a look. And when you finish listening to or watching this, go on YouTube or stay on YouTube and go look up the Is It Love video by New Edition, because I'm not always a music video person, but if I had to make a list of music videos that were my favorite, that one would definitely be on it. It's one of my secret wishes, or I guess not so secret now, to learn all the dance moves that they do in that video and then be able to real time perform them. Yeah. So one day, there's no space in my apartment right now. My new house doesn't exist yet, but one day I will be utterly honored and ecstatic to own one of these pieces, to have it in my home, and to be privileged enough to walk past it every day. Poetry time. So, before we made the art, we were the art. And the trees and the plants and the flowers and the clouds and the sun. And if there's anyone who can encapsulate the beauty of nature with a poem, it's Mary Oliver. Yep, she's back. Now, we just snuck out of spring, so I'm going to read you one of her poems called "The Poet Comments on Yet Another Approaching Spring." It has approached and left us in the northern hemisphere, but you southerners who just hit winter do have spring approaching, so it still fits. Don't flowers put on their prettiness each spring and go to it with everything they've got? Who would criticize the bed of yellow tulips or the blue hyacinth? So put a bracelet on your ankle, with a bell on it. Make a little music for the earth beneath your foot. Or wear a hat with hot-colored ribbons for the pleasure of the leavers and the clouds. Or at least a ring, the gleaming stone for your finger. Yesterday, I watched a mother choose exquisite ear ornaments for someone beloved in the spring of her life. They were for her, for sure, but also, it seemed, a promise, a love message, a commitment to all girls and boys too. So beautiful and hopeful in this hard world, and young. The links are there in the description, so take a look at these phenomenal pieces. I did not even scratch the surface of what I showed you and told you about. It's wild. Just leave yourself a little block of time sometime and go through it, put on some music and just look. Or don't, because a lot of the videos have music with them. Whatever you want to do. And then also maybe spend some time outside today and take a look at that real art too. I'll see you tomorrow.